Kiyomizu-dera 1. Before we arrive at Kiyomizu Temple, I'll give you a short lesson. Kiyomizu-dera, or Kiyomizu Temple, literally means clean water temple.
Could you tell me about the origins of Kiyomizu Temple?
It's said that the origins of this temple go back to the end of the 8th century. According to legend, a priest called Enshin came to Mount Otowa to look for clean water. Luckily, he managed to find a waterfall at the foot of Mount Otowa, and there he received a log possessed by the spirit of Kannon Bodhisattva from Gyoe, an ascetic. Enshin had the log carved in the shape of Kannon and enshrined this image in a small thatched hut. This is the origin of Kiyomizu Temple. Sakano-ue Tamura-maro, a military commander, came to the mountain to hunt a stag because his wife was about to give birth. A stag's blood was thought to ease the delivery of babies. He came across Enshin, who preached to him about the cruelty of killing living things, and then taught him about the religious virtues of Kannon Bodhisattva. Tamura-maro repented of his actions.
I'm an animal lover, so I'm happy to know that Tamura-maro realized the cruelty of killing animals.
The story goes that Tamura-maro and his wife became enthusiastic worshippers of Kannon Bodhisattva, and after putting down a rebellion in the northeast, Tamura-maro built a temple for Kannon in 798 AD, and it was later named Kiyomizu Temple. Kiyomizu Temple burned down many times, and most of the present temple structures date from a reconstruction in 1633. 2. After getting off the bus. From here we have to walk up a slope to the temple. This lane leading to Kiyomizu Temple is lined with shops selling porcelain, pickles, sweets, souvenirs, and so on.
Wow, I really like this atmosphere. To tell you the truth, I like touristy areas.
This area is famous for Kiyomizu yaki, which is glazed porcelain with a white translucent body. Some foreign tourists buy Kiyomizu yaki as souvenirs. You must be careful not to put them in the dishwasher along with other cups and bowls. They're quite fragile.
I see. These vendors smiling at us look very kind. They're offering us samples of Japanese sweets, are they?
That's right. These Japanese sweets are named otabe. This means eat. Otabe are a specialty of Kyoto. After trying a food sample.
Yummy! I want to take some otabe back to my country.
You should buy some on our way back. You're going to be staying in Japan for a week, aren't you? I'll check the eat-by date before you buy it. 3. In front of the Neo Gate. This is the gate of the Diva Kings. It's built in the hip gable roof style with a cypress bark roof. Look at the pair of Diva Kings. They are checking to see if you're a good visitor to the temple or not.
They're guarding the temple, right?
That's right. Look at the Diva King on the right. His mouth is open. He's mouthing the sound ah. That's the first sound in the Sanskrit phonetic system. Look at the Diva King on the left. His mouth is closed. He's saying which is the last sound in the Sanskrit phonetic system.
Does this have any significance?
Yes, they are expressing the entire breadth of Buddha's teaching. In front of the Shoro. This is the bell tower. Most bell towers are supported by 4 pillars, but this is unique in that it's supported by 6 pillars. On New Year's Eve, the bell is rung 108 times.
Why are 108 chimes rung at midnight?
Buddhism teaches that we have 108 worldly sins or worldly desires.
I see. The bells are rung to rid us of these 108 worldly sins.
That's right. The 108 chimes are supposed to release people from the 108 worldly sins.
It's similar to our church bells. At the stroke of midnight, all the churches begin tolling and we say, Happy New Year. We sing Auld Lang Syne on New Year's Eve.
We sing that song to Japanese lyrics at elementary and junior high school graduation ceremonies.
That's interesting. It's originally a Scottish folk tune.
4. In front of a 3-story pagoda. Look at this 3-story pagoda. It's one of the highest 3-story pagodas in Japan. The southeast corner of the roof has a dragon because the dragon is the god of water. This dragon protects Kiyomizu Temple against fire. This structure contains the Great Sun Buddha. in front of Zuigu Hall. Would you be interested in going back into your mother's womb?
I'd be curious, but it sounds scary.
In Zuigu Hall, hold on to the string of Buddhist rosary beads and walk along it.
It's too dark to see anything.
You have to find your own light in the darkness.
At last, I found a ray of light. That's a relief.
I think that kind of feeling is important too. When Gautama Shakyamuni found the morning light, he reached enlightenment. In front of the Sutra Hall. This hall is a repository for all the Buddha's sutras, and a trinity of Shakyamuni Buddha is enshrined here. In front of Founders Hall. The hall contains the images of Gyoe, Enshin, and Sakanoue Tamura Maro and his wife. 5. After washing their hands at a wash basin. This basin is called the owl wash basin.
I can't understand that. I think it should be called the dragon basin.
The dragon is a water guardian, so it's a very important creature, but this basin isn't named after it. Look at the four corners of the basin. This name comes from the owl motif on the four corners of the foundation stone under the basin.
Does the owl have any special significance in Japan?
The owl is the guardian bird of Buddhism. As an owl can see in the dark at night, it can illuminate the temple. The word for owl is fukuro in Japanese. Fukuro also means mother, purse, or without pains in Japanese. You can become merciful, rich, and wise by keeping a fukuro lucky charm. The owl is a symbol of happiness. What does the owl mean to you in your country?
We associate it with wisdom.
In Japan, too.
The reason why Native Americans associated the owl with wisdom is that it can foretell weather conditions. I've read a book which says that during medieval times in Western and Central Europe, it was associated with witches or wizards, and it's considered a messenger of secrets by the Australian Aborigines.
I see. Judging from what you said, I get the impression that they have second sight. 6. At the Todoroki Gate. This is the middle gate to the main hall. It literally means the gate which spreads the Buddha's teaching. 8 pillars and 3 ridgepoles support the gabled tile roof. At the back of Asakura Hall. These are footprints of Gautama Shakyamuni. It's believed that your sins will be extinguished if you gaze upon these footprints.
I'll gaze on them for a while.
In front of Daikoku-ten.
What's this doll?
It's a doll that will guarantee you success. In front of Benkei's clogs.
What's this pair of iron things?
It's said that about 800 years ago, there was a very strong priest named Benkei. According to legend, he used to walk up the hillside wearing these heavy clogs, with staffs in his hands. He trained by himself. Try to lift them up.
Someone must have made up this story. I couldn't even walk a few steps in them.
It's said that if you touch these, your legs will become stronger. This bigger iron staff weighs 90 kilograms. This smaller iron staff weighs 14 kilograms. The legend originated because of Benkei's great strength. 7. In front of the Hondo. This is the main hall. The main hall was rebuilt in 1633 by the third Tokugawa shogun, Iemitsu. The main image is the 11-headed, 1,000-armed Kannon Bodhisattva. Its 1,000 arms and 11 heads help mankind in many different ways. It's displayed to the public every 33 years. This number comes from the fact that Kannon transforms itself into 33 different forms to help people in trouble. After praying.
By the way, who are the people wearing white kimonos, wide-brimmed hats, and straw sandals?
They are pilgrims. This is the 16th pilgrimage temple of the 33 Kannon pilgrimage temples in Western Japan. They have to walk long distances, but they believe that experiencing such trials will bring happiness in this world and the next.
Only elderly people go on pilgrimages?
No, even children can do them, but most of the pilgrims aren't young. Japan now enjoys the highest life expectancy in the world. Elderly people account for 1/4 of the population. Some go on a pilgrimage to ease the fear of old age, illness, and death. They are happy to receive a stamp given by each temple to fill up their little stamp books. According to a survey, the average life expectancy for Japanese women is 86 years, and the average life expectancy for Japanese men is 79 years.
Why do the Japanese live so long?
There are two main reasons. One is that the national health insurance system provides good medical treatment and office workers get annual health checkups. Another reason is that the Japanese diet is low-fat and healthy. 8. On the Kiyomizu stage. The main hall is famous for its platform projecting over a cliff. You can enjoy the Kyoto city view. In front of you, you can see the Koyasu no To, which literally means Easy Berth Pagoda. The Otowa waterfall is at the foot of the cliff. Later, we'll visit all these things.
This panorama is quite breathtaking.
There's a famous expression, you must act as if you were jumping off the stage of Kiyomizu.
Does that mean in a sink or swim situation you have to run a risk?
Yes, it also means take action when you are taking a risk. Do something with strong determination, and you have to take a risk to make your dream come true.
I don't want to jump off because I don't want to ruin the scenery. I want to live a long life just like Japanese people.
In 1882, a regulation was issued which banned jumping. Actually, up to then, 234 people had jumped off, and the survival rate was 85%.
I've read an article that said the suicide rate in Japan is high. Why is that?
That's a difficult question. Probably in the olden days, suicide was glamorized, just like harakiri. The suicide rate seems to have a lot to do with the economy. During the economic crisis in the late 1990s, the suicide rate went up.
A book I read said that suicide is contagious.
Scientific studies show that, but I think it's more a question of copycat suicides. Well, let's change from this gloomy topic to a brighter one. It is said that if you visit this temple on the 9th, 10th, 14th, 15th, and 16th of August, you can get the same amount of merit as you would by visiting this temple 1,000 times. 9. In front of the Hall of 100 Jizo. This is called the Hall of 100 Jizo, but actually there are about 200 Jizo here.
I often see Jizo statues. Do Jizo have any particular significance?
They are popular folk deities. It's said that parents are relieved to find Jizo who resemble their dead children, and so they pray for them. Parents pray to Jizo because they believe that Jizo will comfort the souls of their unborn babies or dead children in the afterlife.
Why do they wear red bibs or hats?
People often put red bibs or hats on the statues to express their gratitude for helping their unborn babies or dead children.
I have seen Jizo along many roads and streets too. Why?
Because Jizo is also the patron saint of travelers, as well as being the patron saint of pregnant women. In front of the Amida Hall. Amitabha, or Amida Nyorai, is enshrined in this hall. Honen, who was the founder of the Jodo sect, preached that you should recite Namu Amida Butsu in order to go to paradise.
What does Namu Amida Butsu mean?
Namu means devotion, and Amida Butsu means Amitabha, so it means devotion to Amitabha. Behind Okuno-in. This is a small Kannon Bodhisattva statue. Pour water gently over the statue, and you can purify yourself, and your wishes will be granted.
I'll try.
10. In front of Okuno-in. Okuno-in resembles the main hall with a projecting stage. This is dedicated to the 11-faced, 1,000-armed Kannon who is attended by Bishamonten and Jizo Bodhisattva.
It's confusing. The view from here is excellent too. There's a great view of the main hall. The roof is so gracefully curved.
Yes, the roof is thatched with Japanese cypress bark. This architecture is famous because the Kiyomizu Temple stage is held up by a large number of Zelkova tree pillars without the use of nails. The night illuminations in cherry blossom season and autumn leaf viewing season turn Kiyomizu Temple into a fantastic wonderland. At Otowa Falls after taking pictures in front of Koyasu Pagoda. This waterfall is one of the 10 most famous clean water streams in Japan.
And the name of the temple comes from this clean water.
You have a good memory. Let me explain some things about the waterfall. The water is channeled into 3 streams from this waterfall. There are said to be 3 interpretations for this. The first is that the streams symbolize devotion to Buddha, the law, and the priests. The second is good health, academic achievement, and finding a good match in marriage. The third is purification of your actions, your words, and your mind.
I see. Are we allowed to take this water back home?
Yes, the water from this fall is used for making coffee and tea or cooking rice. If you pray before drinking this water, it's said your wish will come true.
Is it okay to drink the water now?
Of course, this water is free of any contamination. Over there, the ladles are sterilized with ultraviolet rays. 11. Looking back at the West Gate. Look at the West Gate. This is an 8-pillar construction style. The West is linked to the paradise of the Pure Land. It is said that when you are dying, you should meditate upon the Buddhist paradise while admiring this sunset. This will help you to cross over peacefully into the other world.
I see. I've never seen such a beautiful sunset. By the way, is Kiyomizu Temple always so crowded?
Yes, about 5 million people visit this temple every year, and it's called the Temple of the Common Folk. On their way back. This slope is named Sanenzaka. It means 3 years slope, or the slope of easy birth. If you go down this street, you will have an easy childbirth. Shall we go down a little bit?
Yes, let's. I'll be guaranteed of an easy childbirth by going down this slope, right?
That's right. Watch your step. It's also said that if you slip on the 3-year slope, you'll have 3 years of bad luck.
But why? It seems like such a nice stone-paved road. How can I get rid of the bad luck?
It teaches you that you can't ever be too careful in your everyday actions. At a gourd shop.
It's so light and small. I'll buy this one as a souvenir for my parents.
This miniature gourd is also excellent. You can keep it as a key holder. This gourd charm will keep you healthy. Inside it, there are 5 small gourds which will protect your liver, heart, spleen, lungs, and kidneys. 12.
Look, are they geisha girls?
They're not real geisha girls. You can have yourself made up like a traditional geisha.
How much does it cost?
It costs about 5,000 yen. If you want to walk around Kyoto in full costume for 1 hour, you have to pay an additional 3,000 yen.
I wish I had enough time. I'd like to have a picture taken with them.
They'll be more than happy to have their pictures taken with us. After taking pictures.
Could you tell me the difference between a maiko and a geisha?
In order to become a geisha, a maiko has to go to a special institute for professional training in the Gion amusement quarter of Kyoto. They have to undergo strict and intensive training.
You mean maikos are apprentice geishas?
That's right. Geishas are professional hostesses who keep the guests happy and enliven the atmosphere at lavish Japanese-style parties.
How are geishas called to Japanese-style parties?
They work for a kind of agency called okiya.
What's the difference between a bar hostess and a geisha? Of course, I know that a geisha wears a kimono.
Geishas are also entertainers trained in the Japanese arts of dancing, singing, flower arrangement, tea ceremony, and playing music on the shamisen, a 3-stringed musical instrument.
I see.
Geishas are also trained in listening to their guests' problems sympathetically and are regarded as beautiful flowers. Jisyu Jinja 1. Jisyu Shrine is famous for matchmaking. Many people come to pray for good matches.
Why is there a shrine inside a temple compound?
Because Buddhism and Shintoism have lived in harmony for centuries. In front of the Harai-do. You can also purify yourself here. If you have any problems, please write them on this piece of paper in the shape of a doll and put it into the water nearby. When the paper dissolves in the water, your troubles will be cleared up. After praying at the shrine.
Why are rice cakes with an orange on top offered at the shrines?
The deities like rice cakes, and rice cakes are considered sacred.
Why are the rice cakes round?
Mirrors, swords, and jewels have been considered to be three treasures since ancient times. Mirrors were believed to be magical objects that have spiritual power, so the rice cake is in the shape of a mirror. The Japanese word for mirror is kagami, so this rice cake is called kagami mochi.
Why is there an orange on the top of rice cakes? Can't we put an apple there?
This orange is called a dai-dai. Since the Japanese word dai-dai also means from generation to generation, it has a good connotation. Why do you want to put an apple there?
Apples and apple blossoms are natural symbols of love, beauty, happiness, and immortality.
That's why some companies are called Apple something or other. The word apple reminds me of an American computer company's name. 2.
Who's this man with the rabbit?
He's Okuninushi no Mikoto, Shinto deity of love and good matches. He is famous for his kindness, having helped the rabbit in trouble beside him. The rabbit works for him as his messenger.
When was this shrine built?
Actually, we don't know for sure. The main hall is said to have been built in 701. Recent studies by an atomic physicist show that the love fortune-telling stones are 10,000 years old. In front of the love fortune-telling stones. Look at these two stones. They're called love fortune-telling stones. The distance between the two stones is 18 meters. If you walk with your eyes closed from one rock to the other, you will find true love.
I don't like walking with my eyes closed. Please give me a hand.
That means that you need your friend's advice, a go-between, to make your romantic wishes come true. Do you know anything about omiai?
No, I don't. Can you explain omiai?
This is an arranged meeting with a prospective marriage partner. This meeting is arranged by a go-between.
Is this a common practice in Japan? What kind of person is the go-between?
A go-between is usually a mature person of good social standing.
How do things progress towards marriage?
A couple may date several times in order to make up their minds whether or not to get married. In front of Emma, you can see Okuninushi no Mikoto and a rabbit printed on them. Each tablet acts as a letter to the matchmaking god, asking for one's wishes to be granted. 3. In front of the happy gong. If you hit this gong, the gong's sound will be conveyed to the gods, and you'll find a good match.
That looks like fun.
In front of the Nade Daikoku. If you pat this bronze statue of Daikoku, your dream will come true. You can pray for a good match, success in business, success in exams, an easy childbirth, safety of the family, etc.
I'll pray for success in business.
In that case, pat the lucky bag Daikoku is carrying over his shoulder.
What if I want to ward off evil spirits?
Pat the mallet which Daikoku is holding. Pat the mallet for good fortune, too. If you want to pass an exam, pat his head. In front of the Mizukake Jizo. Pour some water over Jizo and your wish will be granted. There are 4 ladles here. Each ladle has its own function. I'll read what's written in Chinese characters on each ladle. Going from right to left. Success in examinations, a good match, good fortune, and warding off evil spirits.
I'll pour some water over Jizo with the good fortune ladle. By the way, how many Chinese characters do the Japanese use?
As many as 3,000 characters are commonly used in Japan. In front of the Okage Myojin. Okage Myojin is a god who will answer any prayer, whatever it is. He is said to be the guardian deity of women. 4. At the cedar tree called Noroi Sugi behind Okage Myojin. It's said that some ladies would nail a straw doll to the cedar tree to put a curse on their enemies. You can see a lot of nail marks on this tree.
That's scary. So this is a tree for breaking off relationships, even though the purpose of this shrine is good matchmaking.
I think it's scary too, but curses are a thing of the past.
I'm relieved to hear that. By the way, why are there students in uniform here? They look excited.
They're high school students on their Shugaku Ryoko.
What's a Shugaku Ryoko?
It's a school excursion to places of historical interest or scenic places. They have these trips 3 times.
3 times? When?
Once in elementary school, once in junior high school, and once in senior high school.
You mean while they are in compulsory education?
No, in Japan, high schools are not included in the compulsory education system.
Could you tell me about Japan's education system?
Japan has had a 6-3-3-4 education system since the end of World War II. Elementary school and junior high school are compulsory. In order to enter most high schools, junior colleges, or universities, students have to take entrance exams, so they go to juku or yobiko.
What's a juku?
A juku is a cram school. In addition to their regular schoolwork, they go to cram school to prepare for their exams. 5.
What's a yobiko?
Yobiko literally means a preparatory school. Students who fail to pass the entrance exams to universities go to yobiko to prepare for their next entrance examinations.
Is it difficult to get into a university?
It's still difficult, but because of the declining birth rate, it's easier than it was 10 years ago.
What's the average number of children per couple?
About 1.4. Let's pray at this shrine for an increase in the number of children. The number of taxpayers is going to decrease. On the other hand, the number of senior citizens living on pensions will increase. Who's going to support these senior citizens?
It's a real social problem.
In front of a bulletin board.
What are those white pieces of paper with people's names written on them? There are a lot of foreign names on the board.
After getting married, couples come from far away to visit this shrine again to offer their thanks.
That's great. By the way, what are those school children buying?
They're buying charms, probably a pair of matchmaking charms. This is for you. It's a charm for traffic safety. Your hobby is driving, so that's why I chose it for you.
Thank you very much. Where should I keep it?
You can carry it in your wallet. A good luck charm can be kept in the home or hung in your car, too. 13. After a cup of coffee, we'll head for Gion.
Talking of Gion, I've heard that the Gion Festival is a very popular and beautiful event. Could you tell me something about it?
Okay. The Gion Festival is one of Japan's 3 main festivals.
What are the other 2 festivals?
They are the Kanda Festival in Tokyo and the Tenjin Festival in Osaka.
What are the 3 main festivals in Kyoto?
They are the Festival of Ages, the Aoi Festival, and the Gion Festival. Well, let me tell you about the origins of the Gion Festival. The Gion Festival is a festival of the Yasaka Shrine. In 869, people were suffering from a plague. Emperor Seiwa ordered the people to pray to the deity of Yasaka Shrine. The Gion Festival started as a prayer to the deity of Yasaka Shrine for the end of the plague.
When is this festival held?
It's held throughout the month of July and is crowned by a parade on July 17th. Look at this picture.
Wow! It's so beautiful and gorgeous.
The parade of 30 beautifully decorated floats is the highlight of this festival.
They sing, dance, and play traditional musical instruments, right?
Yes, the streets are very busy the night before the parade, and they are lined with night stalls. Many women in yukata, light cotton kimono, walk around the area carrying with them paper fans called uchiwa.
They're so pretty. The next time I come to Japan, I'd like to see this festival.
In the bamboo forest after leaving Tenryuji.
The whole of Arashiyama used to be within the compound of Tenryuji Temple.
I see. I've totally fallen in love with this bamboo forest. The air is so clean.
Many tourists say that this bamboo forest was the most impressive place for them. Bamboo crafts developed by using the raw materials in this area. Bamboo crafts can be used in the tea ceremony and flower arrangement. Bamboo is a symbol of vitality because it grows very quickly.
Near Togetsu-kyo Bridge.
This bridge is named Togetsu-kyo Bridge. It literally means crossing the moon. Emperor Kameyama wrote a poem in which he said that the moon seemed to be crossing the bridge. And after that, it came to be called Togetsu-kyo. This bridge has often been used as a location for historical films. Our next destination is Mount Iwata Monkey Park. Tom Cruise visited this mountain, and it became one of his favorite views. There are as many as 150 wild monkeys here.
On Mount Iwata Monkey Park after climbing for half an hour.
Wow, there are some mother monkeys carrying their cute babies.
Childbearing season is from the end of March to July.
On the viewing platform.
You can get a view of the whole city here.
Today I learned about Japanese history and culture and took in a lot of nature. It was an unforgettable experience.